Hey, what's up guys? This week we're comparing the Skechers GoRun Razor 3 versus the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Fordy Runs. Now, if this is your first time at Fordy Runs, I want you to smash that pink button down there that says subscribe on it. Go to our Facebook page and join the Fordy Runs running community and check out the description. There's loads of cool things. Right, this week I thought it'd be really cool, after testing these, and if you've not seen the video, check it out, to compare these two. They're very, very similar, so let's get stuck in. Right guys, so first let's talk about the GoRun 3 Hyper, Zero, Razor, whatever it's called. I've been really looking forward to getting my hands on this, and if you've not seen the review, check it out. I've done a review on this shoe in particular, but I wanted to compare it to the Hyper because they're very similar. Before we get into it, let's do a few on the stats and talk about the sort of features as well. So this has got the Hyper Burst midsole on it. This shoe's weighing in at 6.4 ounces, yep, 6.4 ounces. You've got this sort of translucent mesh upper, which is very breathable. You've got like a moulded heel counter, which is adding some stability and some sort of a secure fit at the back. You've got, and I think this is marketing talk, but you've got a mid-foot strike zone, which is promoting efficiency in each stride. Yeah, okay. Shoe's got a 4mm drop, and I paid £125 here in the UK. Now, these shoes are really hard to get hold of because basically they don't really sell many Skechers running shoes here in the UK. And I don't know why that is, because I think, you know, maybe people associate Skechers with old people, but that's not the case. These are awesome running shoes that Skechers make. If you've not seen the video, check out the GoRun 8, which is like a daily training shoe. Awesome shoe. The Brooks, we'll get on to the stats and then we'll compare the two. So the Brooks, very similar as well, along with the Razor, but the Brooks has got this DNA Flash midsole in it. The shoe's weighing at 7.3 ounces, which is still really light, but you know, it's an ounce more than the Speed, the Razor 3 Speed, sorry. You say you've got the DNA Flash, which is sort of, they say it's a combination of lightweight, responsive ride with soft cushioning, which helps you recover faster. But yeah, it's basically super responsive, and you've got this technology in it which just pops you along. We'll come on to that in a minute. It's got a stretch woven upper. It's got an 8mm drop, and it's £140. Now, it's quite expensive, and also the problem with this shoe is you may struggle to get your hands on your size, and the grey version. You can't get that for love nor money in this country, but you may still struggle to get your shoe size in this one at the moment, because there's still a huge demand for this. I really like the stretch woven upper, but we'll come on to that. So these shoes are very similar, not just for me. These are sort of half marathon shoes. I switched out my Nike 4% and put this in my rotation because of that sort of half marathon 10k distance. I just really like the feel of this shoe, but they're very similar because both of the midsoles are sort of they're nitrogen infused midsoles, and that's in the production. So when they make it, they're infused with nitrogen. It just gives you that sort of pop and that spring. But what's really interesting about the midsole is that, unlike a Zoom X, which is quite a soft sort of trampoline feel, this feels a lot harder's the wrong word, but firmer. But you're still getting a really good pop off of it, so you'll not feel like you're springing along on a trampoline. You are getting a really good ride on it. It's nice and smooth, and both the shoes felt very similar. Both the midsoles felt very similar, and despite this shoe having a 4mm drop, I didn't notice really that this had an 8mm drop and this had a 4mm drop. You don't really notice the two, because you're racing and you're more on your toes. You don't really seem to notice it at all. The shoe fits, I would say this is more true to size than the Brooks. The Brooks I found quite narrow, so this is both of these are both a UK 9.5, but I found this one narrow. I do have a wide foot. I found this toe box had a lot more room in it. Underneath, they're very similar, but again you can see the sort of wideness on this one versus that one, and again this has got sort of more exposed rubber than the Brooks. The sort of lightness, you don't really notice that there's an ounce difference between the two, I've got to be honest with you. The lacing here is sort of a bit ragged. I preferred the lacing on the Skechers, but I preferred, I think, the upper on the Brooks. It just felt that little bit more breathable, the fact that it sort of stretches well. It was just a nicer material, nicer feel to it. The heel area, if you look, it's quite interesting. You've got that flip away at the back, where here is quite a lower profile. Again, I prefer that versus that. If you compare, and maybe I'll do that, you can see the difference. So this is quite a lower profile versus that. I preferred that feel. Again, everybody's different. This has got more padding around the heel than this, but there's not much difference, and they've both got like minimalistic tongues. So how do they feel over distance? Well, this shoe over sort of 10 miles sort of 10k to 10 miles feels awesome. This shoe feels more awesome at sort of 5k, 10k, but I have picked up the miles in it. So I did a 10 miler the other day in it, and it did feel great. The only thing is, this, oh, where is it? I'm going to drop them. This, where is it? This one. I prefer running this one on the sort of longer distances and this one on the shorter distances. And this shoe feels great when you're doing sort of those warm-up runs, so the sort of easier pace. This feels a little bit more comfortable than this one at that sort of easier pace. And I don't know whether that's because there's a little bit more room in there, but it just felt a little bit more sort of, yeah, a little bit more casual. It's probably the wrong word, but more casual. It just felt a little bit better to run at easy pace versus this. These both really come into their own at the higher paces. So if you're really gunning for a race, like an A race that's sort of middle distance, I think both of these offer a really good shoe, a really good solution. I actually stuck between the two. I don't know which one I prefer. I think for me, I'll run this one at half marathon distance, and I think I'll run this one at sort of 5k park run and sort of 10k. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a nice luxury to have, right? But I think that's where they sort of fit in. Would I sneak these into a marathon? Probably not. Unless it was like, no, I probably wouldn't actually. I just wouldn't. I think I would prefer, for a marathon distance, I would prefer a little bit more cushioning. So I'd still go for like the Endorphin Pro or the 4%, the Next Percent. Do you know what I mean? Because they've just got that sort of, that little bit more cushioning, that little bit more for that sort of marathon distance. I think even though you could run both of these, these have still got a really good amount of cushioning for a racing shoe. But I just think a marathon shoe, you'd be better off in one of those two. But if you are looking for a really good racing up-tempo shoe, check both of these out. You probably won't be able to get your hands on this, but if you can, I would recommend this one over this one. Why? Because it's lighter and it's cheaper. If you can't get this one, then get this one.